We're doing Kim Jung-un. We're just going to look at his personality and his interactions around the people that are around him and see what we can see. Remember to go check out Patreon. Let's get started. This is Kim Jong-un, and this is the parade down the street for his father's funeral. This is his uncle, and the other people I'm not quite sure of. But they're in a saluting. The uncle is not saluting. This gentleman is not saluting. It would seem to me if these three are saluting, these four would be saluting as well. And as we play, they don't salute. This is the uncle that was supposedly eaten by dogs. On top of it, as he was eaten by dogs, purging was going on as well. Now we're watching them walk up these steps. This one looks down because they're about to get to a step. This one, his head is still up. But look where he goes. Watch Kim Jong-un as he walks up these steps. The whole time he looks down. The whole time. Everyone else has their heads up, except for him. He looks down the entire time. Does not really scream confidence. It does not scream strength. It doesn't scream that he's the supreme leader. It just looks like he's walking with his peers. And if you're the supreme leader, you want to look like you're walking as the leader. This is during the beginning of his rule, and watch the men around him as they salute. He bows all the way down. They all come up roughly about the same time. And that uncle that got eaten by dogs, the first one to quit saluting, and look at the time between everyone else stop saluting. To have the leadership he's supposed to have, where he is supreme leader and they all are in lockstep with him, to have the uncle lead the way and when saluting and when not saluting is not a good sign. It's like foreshadowing the dog is eating him. Alright, this is what it looks like after the uncle was purged. And watch now the men around Kim Jong-un. They all bow much, much lower than him. And none of them try to come up before him or preempt him in any way. You notice Kim Jong-un does not actually bow in this one either. It's only his head and neck. All the others now bow. This is Kim Jong-un, the first time that his people are hearing him speak. See how he's dancing around? Play it normal. You see how he's dancing around? I mean, he's swirling all the way around. Reminds me of a little kid that just can't sit still. He doesn't have the, someone who's thinking dance. He's got the I'm too immature to stand here dance. It's a very immature. So he's shown that he has no confidence. He is not the leader. Later on during his speech, he's at the balcony. And this is the mentality that we've discovered that he has. And the state itself is responsible for who he is today. Waving, extremely happy. They're all cheering that godlike mentality that is required of the people. Feeding into the ego, and then of course you see these photographers crowding around him like he's a rock star, all ready to a mind that is very immature and touting he's the supreme leader. Eventually, when you get this mentality that has thrown into a rock star, you get corruption. Well, you see it in celebrities. They get all that money and all that fame, and people fawn over them. They don't think they have to pay taxes. They think they're now above the law. They've got money to burn, so debt is no longer a concept to them. They buy ridiculous stuff. That same kind of concept is what has happened to Kim Jong-un. This is where he's visiting. Apparently they've got new housing, and some people are getting some of these housings or apartments. So he's showing off the new apartments, and he's visiting the people that have just moved in. He has very awkward eye contact with the gentleman. And it's such a bad video, we can't tell exactly what's going on with the male, but that for a little bit we got to see his eyes. And he does it with the female too, both females, except for the grandmother. She doesn't look up at him, so he looked at her more. So you got someone who has no confidence at all, even towards the people he's supposed to rule against. A warm smile, a warm look in the eye would have been acceptable. But we get someone who doesn't display confidence. That was an actual genuine reaction from him with this grandmother. Watch. Oh, hey. I mean, a warm smile. I don't know what his parenting was. I just know that he was in Switzerland for a majority of his childhood. That his father didn't raise him in his youth, which is key in developing a personality. Which is why I say that the North Korean people themselves are responsible for the person that they've made. But he really showed genuine care and light towards that grandmother in that short few seconds. And you see in this one, the only one completely relaxed is grandma and the male. The females over here are not relaxed at all. Look how tight she is. Straight backs. She's more relaxed than these two. I guess I just expected more stiffness, shaking, more worry, more submissive behavior. And don't get me, we are getting submissive behavior, but we are not getting dog submissive behavior. It's more of a relaxed atmosphere, obviously with tension, but more relaxed than I expected. Oh, and he gave him gifts. This is the only one where it got a little creepy. It was when he was dealing with the kids. He like grabbing his arm, the kid's jerking away from him. The kids are not like, yeah, we're over here. Touching him again. Really trying to be in that kid, touching his face. And that kid is just not having it. Like, I'm not getting any more comfortable with you than I have to. You can tell that when the wife tries to manipulate the kid. He's got this kid in his hands. He's trying to talk to him and be sweet. He's not being not nice. He's giving him a blessing. Watch what happens to this kid. Kiss. All right. The camera people drag him away so they can see the next kid. Here we got the two men talking, and they're looking at each other. He's actually, Kim Jong-un, lower than he is to the other male, and very comfortable in it. Whereas the guy in the white, he's not that comfortable being above Kim Jong-un. He likes to make people laugh. As I've watched him with all these people, he likes to make jokes and they laugh. And he has genuine laugh lines. Can't really tell on the other people, basically because the camera is always focused on his face, so you're going to be able to pick with low quality his laugh lines. But the other people, I can't tell if they're just, entertaining him with his laughing. Ah ha ha, you made a joke, so I must laugh now too. Or if they actually think he's funny. Just for contrast, this is Lenin's funeral, a beloved dictator of Russia. Watch how these people act as someone that these people loved compared to North Korea. There's Yosef. Nobody's falling on their face. Nobody's screaming and hollering. Stalin's funeral. Kim Jong-il's funeral. Stark contrast. It's like emotionally unstable country versus emotionally stable country. Now, whether they're faking it, I don't know. The video is never really good enough to actually see anything. I'd imagine since I sit there and watched the street as they were all lined up, the crowds looked very normal, and then as the funeral car went by, that's when all the breakdown happened. But that could be fake or real too, so. But it does say that for a country, if this is a behavior that is forced or encouraged, that emotional unstableness is encouraged or considered the normal. If you liked it, leave a like. And if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.